Yo, I'm back. I didn't realize that when I restart the my Stream Deck controller, it actually restarts OBS. I didn't realize that when I restart the my Stream Deck controller, it actually restarts OBS. Okay, let's turn that Inception thing off. Now, gotta reset my Windows. Boo! Not sure why it does this. For some reason it does it. Okay, we've got that. And then Chrome, I gotta set this one to this one. Yo. Okay. Alright, so yeah, here's what I discovered. So if I start my Play app, my Ember application, and the network service is not running, then the app doesn't load, which is not a good failure state. And a lot of developing software is like planning for and programming for failure states, so you get graceful degradation rather than just like an explosion for the user. So I'm going to fix this thing first. Okay, so I'd say, yeah, this thing's going to throw. So we're doing an await here in the model. This is the cause here. Like if this throws, then the model throws, and your application won't load. Well, to be more specific, my application won't load. So I've got to figure out what should my application do if it can't retrieve the user object. Well, I think I can do this. I think I can do this. Like that. I might be able to even shorten it this by going there are some lyrics in this. I think I then need to wrap that in this and then just return it like that. And then in the case where it throws, like we can't access the network, I don't know what will happen if we do this. I'm just going to try it. So we got an error of some kind, and then I'll do two things. One is that I'll log it to the console so that I can see it if it's happening and I need to debug it, right? And then what I'm just going to do is I'm going to return the user object that I got already. I don't know if the shape of that is compatible, but let's just see. Rebuilding. Yes. Okay, but there's no indication to the user that anything is wrong. Maybe I should do this. It's pretty ghetto, but anyway, we start from the ghetto and then we go up from there. So rather than just giving them a blank screen, we can give them a, your data could not be retrieved. Yeah. Because then at least if someone was to report an error, they're not gonna, it's a blank screen, they'll be like, and then I should give them like an indication what to do. Please try again later. Put some line breaks in here. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Ting, could not connect to, okay, yeah, I forgot to put that inside the template string. This line is pretty long as well, so let's do this. Huge shout out to Silk Music and to Shingo Nakamura for providing the soundtrack for the stream. One of the most important things about programming is the soundtrack. Okay, I think that does that because I was testing it last week. Okay, that's a better failure state for this thing. Yes, much better. I wonder if the Babel transpiler can handle this. So if we were to do this, for example. Is it going to blow up? Yeah, it can't handle it. Good. See, that's a good error message. Plugin section of your Babel config. Now, where's that? Is it in here? Nope. Is it in here? Is it in here? Let's find out. So, what I want to know about is Ember. Babel config. There we go. Okay. Copy that. And it goes in here. Yep. I'd say we probably have to npm install it as well. Well, let's try it without npm installing it and see what happens. Ember serve. I actually don't need that stuff. Change as few things as possible at a time. Cancel that thing. Get ready as if in case we do need to install it there. What's up with this? Okay, let's see if it works without installing it. I mean, it's complaining about, where did I put that? Oh. It's not the template, don't need that one. I don't need that. Here, that's where it is. Let's get rid of a bunch of these things. Keep everything clean as we go. Yeah, I can't find the... So I'll install that plugin. And then let's have a look at what it's complaining about here. Router.js. Use snake case and dynamic segments of routes. Here? Wow. This could be the TypeScript 3.7 that I installed. Not sure. So I changed two things at once. I did the TypeScript 3.7 and I did the optional chaining. Okay, we've got the optional chaining package in. I saw Nest.js just updated their build chain to support mono repos, which is pretty cool. But yeah, these, well, you know, look, it's like static programming and statically compiled languages. You have to do a build, so whatever. Let's find out. This to me looks like I've overridden some kind of setting because it didn't give that error before. ESLint plugin Ember. Okay. So Ember doesn't have to do extra serialization in order to resolve promises. Okay, well, we're gonna go with this then. Okay, so we'll suck it up and do it. Now that route associated here, let's have to change it in here. I don't really understand why, but it doesn't matter. You don't have to understand everything. I should have done a replace all. It's okay. It's one of the things that people say about the Elm compiler is it emits great error messages and you just basically do whatever the compiler tells you and it'll fix your code. TypeScript's compiler has some great error message and it has some terrible error messages. Huge dumps of like type signatures and you really got to like, what is going on? You got to really go through them. All right, let's try it again. maximize this because we're looking at it. Dude, this ESLint thing has suddenly become way more intense. It would actually be useful if this thing told you which plugin was emitting these errors. It just says error. Okay, well, what I've got to say about this is well, let's have a look. Components navbar. This is not getting the database working. Okay, so the indentation of these is incorrect. That's the correct indentation. Okay, so something just formatted it. Something just formatted it and ruined the formatting. Okay. Format Ember handlebars. VS Code. I'm looking for someone saying, yo, I have this problem, because I can't be the only one in the world with this problem. VS Code. How to format handlebars in VS Code. Add this to your .settings file. .settings file. Okay. Okay. Let's see what this does. Cutting and pasting code from the internet. Save. Okay, good. Save. I'm not going to expose myself to losing all my formatting this time. Let's do it again. Sehr gut. Oh, look at that. It did a great job of formatting it. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Let's just make sure that that's in my get ignore. I'm going to take it out of my get ignore, because we're actually going to need it. Okay. Are you telling me that I didn't check in my changes from last time? No, I did. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm gonna go through and fix these errors. Spell selector, handlebars. This one. Save. Thank you, auto format. Save. 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 Nice. Save. Let's give this guy a shout out, man. He deserves it. So this is great for at Ember.js. Oh, no autocomplete. Dumb. I'm pretty sure it's Ember.js, right? Let's just verify that. No! Oh man, I'm not doing it on the stream, but I've got to write the keyboard bindings for this thing. Ember on Twitter, yo. About? Boo. Twitter.com. Yes, it is at Ember.js. Tweet. Kill it. Get rid of that. Bring this up. Okay, let's have a look what the error messages say. Where is this? Templates welcome.handlebars. For reals? Come on. Pretty sure we fixed that. Let's watch. Building. Sass compiler. Welcome. Line 4, column 8. Expected it to be at 6, but it was at 8. Okay, it's 3 levels deep. It's expecting it to be at 3, so it means it thinks that the spaces should be set to 2. Oh. ESLint. Okay. I don't know, let's try that, see if that works. The reason I'm doing this is because I want error messages to be actually useful. And if I'm having to sort through a bunch of error messages that I need to ignore to find the ones that I need to fix, that's going to make it difficult. So I want to reduce the error count and warning count to 0 so that they're actually meaningful. What do they say? If you're on alert all of the time, you're on alert none of the time, something like that. Found at 8. No, that didn't do it. Okay, so what I'm looking for here is ESLint spaces. Indent. Oh, indent spaces 4. So I think what I need to do here is this. Indent. How come you don't remember all this stuff, dude? You program in enough languages and with enough tools, after a while you're like, I ain't gonna remember this, man. indent. Okay. I see. Can I set it to warning? Wow. Whatever. Too many options. Oh man, this is messing me up. There's a different keyboard shortcut for copy and paste between Chrome and VS Code. We'll make it 4 spaces. I mean, the JS standard has become 2, but I'm a 4 spaces guy because I like to be able to see clearly when I have parentheses closure errors, mismatched parentheses. Okay, let's see what happens here. This thing's set to spaces too. What the heck is wrong with this thing? No, it still expects it to be at 2. To get set in here? Nope. Okay, so in that case, what I need to search for is Ember indent spaces. Google and cut and paste, man. Change code indentation to use spaces, yeah. Nope. An editor configs file. Oh. That's why. So, .editor config. Do I have the? I think in here you need to have a plugin. Attempts to override user workspace settings with settings found in editor config. Yep, let's do that. Install. I did see some updates available. C#, I don't need to reload that right now. Live share, no. Platform IO. Is it like update all? Show outdated extensions. Are you kidding? That is dumb. Dumb! Oh no, they've updated, they need to be reloaded. Which means that for my stream, I gotta, oh no, it reselected it, that's pretty cool. Okay, good. Terminal, split it in half. Okay, let's run this thing again. Ember serve. Winning. I actually failed a phone screening interview for Facebook a couple of years ago. And I mean, I worked as a recruiter for 3 years, so I get it. Like, you need to have some kind of process to filter people out. But yeah, if they approached me, if I was wanting to get into Facebook, I would deal with that. But yeah. What's the ESLint option for indenting spaces? It's not a question they ask, but it's those kind of questions. Dude, I don't know, man. You just punch in Ember indent spaces into Google and find it. Like, why would I remember that? Why would I remember that? Okay, it's complaining it can't find this module, so I'll install it, and that should get rid of that error message, which I've been ignoring for the last few weeks. And maybe that'll break something else, who knows? Build successful, no linting errors, good. Object is possibly null. Let's have a look. I haven't been using the tests. Two ways I can fix this. I can or I can do this. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, that's cool. That'll get rid of the error message, but if I run it, it will still throw the error. Let's just do that to everything. I think that's a good way to deal with it, because I don't have to edit out my tests. I can still go back and start using them later, but in the meantime it will stop complaining about them. I mean, there's two ways I could do it. I could either do it by saying optional chaining, or I could assert that it's actually has a value. It's the other way, but let's go with optional chaining. Test will still fail if it doesn't pass, but it'll get rid of this linting error or whatever it is. Compilation warning. Okay, so we got that thing in. Cannot find that, cannot find that. Yeah, I've installed it now. Oof. This one. Okay, let's run it again. And see how many more error messages there are. I want to get it down to 0 and then start working. And I'm also avoiding touching the database because I don't want to corrupt the data. Oh, dude, what is up with this indentation, man? Okay, it's definitely set to 4. We're using spaces, yeah, okay. Usually I use tabs and set them to 4. I usually use tabs because then you don't have to deal with this. People can set it to whatever the heck they want, man. Don't worry, I spent a lot of time in this tabs versus spaces debate years ago. Okay, optionally chain. Yeah, insert that character, thanks. Close all. That curried error, that's the kind of error that I'm talking about with the TypeScript stuff. Mismatched type definitions from different libraries or versions. Oh, we're gonna make it more, the typing more accurate so you get better inferences, and then it breaks something else that relies on like an older type definition. Anyway, it's the price of progress, man. Take it out of there. Lucky that I remembered. I didn't remember that, but okay. Looks like I got 2 TypeScript errors that are going to show up in this next build. If I save it, yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah. Okay, now the only 2 errors that I have are these ones. Oh man. This is bullshit. Be part of my Anglo-Saxon. Glimmer. I have actually seen this before. No! Dude. Cut and paste, man. Copy it. It's such a big part of my programming style. Glimmer. Yeah, see? I have looked at it previously. Yep. Glimmer components, yeah, package JSON, so can confirm. Yeah, 7th of June. Okay, run into this as well. Issue, source of the types are here. Okay. Yes. 4th of June. TypeScript. Downstream, squash the error messages. Nah. Don't want to do that if I can avoid it. Oof. Closed it. Do I need to update Ember? Okay, okay. Ember CLI handlebars 407. Go back here. Ember CLI HTML bars 4.0. HTML bars 407. Let's suck it and see. I could switch to tabs and 4, but nah, I'm the only one working in the code base right now, so it's just going to be spaces 4. Editor config, your editor should automatically detect it. You don't even think about it, who cares? But it does mean that anyone working on the code base has to use 4 spaces. They can't look at it with 2 or 6 or whatever their preference is, 3. Which is why I'm like all about the tabs, because with tabs, you know, each person can configure their view independent of the actual code. Kind of treats your editor as like a view layer, and then it treats the code as a model. I don't think I've seen anyone actually make that case for tabs versus spaces. Like, tabs allow your code to be a model and your editor to be a view. Otherwise, you're like coupling the view and the model together. Okay, so I've got the new version installed, audited. Nah, let's do this. I think that caret symbol means that it won't upgrade it. It'll say, I got something that's close enough. Copy. Paste. Why I use tabs instead of spaces? That could be a good dev.to post. Yep. Okay. Let's try it again. Ember serve. While it's doing its thing, stand up on my legs, man. I went to the gym on Friday and trained legs big time. It's 48 hours later and I'm feeling it. I'm gonna charge my watch. Okay. Okay, we got no, that didn't fix it. That didn't fix it. Circular dependency. Circular dependency. Roll up. Editor scripts. Editor scripts. I don't know what that is. Well, con.js I think is from that Monaco editor. What, it depends on itself? Let's ignore that for the time being. Let's see if we can fix this curried component. Far out, man. Because that's an error in the well, I don't think it crashes on the error. I think it if it was using the TypeScript compiler, it would definitely not transpile, but I think because it's using the Babel one, it's just like, oh well, according to the type system, this thing's not going to work, but I'll just transpile it anyway. So it's kind of like, it says it's an error, but it's more like a warning. Glimmer, runtime, dist, types, lib, component, curried component. Well, maybe if we upgrade this, let's try it. What could possibly go wrong besides everything, or just more things? Let's suck it and see. Maybe it just got fixed somewhere and I just upgrade it and like magic it works. Let's see. 14.0 alpha 13. Nope, that's the latest. Anyway, I'm going to ignore it for now. I'm just going to say that it works. They closed this one. These are still open. Okay, Ember Serve. Oh, you can do Ember S instead of Ember Serve. That's cool. No an issue. Track it down. Didn't do anything wrong. Leaking implementation details. Yeah. 15th of September. 16th. Upstream version tracking here. Leave this open until that one gets resolved. People. Yeah, you shouldn't ship the types with the core packages. Or should you? I don't know. Skip lib check. No, I don't like that. Oh. Okay, same error message. This is why I'm not a big fan of adding TypeScript to JS. It's like better to just do it in TypeScript from the bottom up. Component like Nest.js. 2 different implementations, one by Glimmer, other by Ember. Glimmer, generally looks good to go. Okay, so they're committing, they're reviewing commits. They merged it into master. And this is for Glimmer. 9th of October. Okay, let's have a look in here. Is there anything from Glimmer in here? Nope, so it's being pulled in via something else. Maybe the Ember types? Update these. See if there was a change in that. Is there anything about Glimmer in here at all? Nothing. Ember Glimmer, Ember CLI Glimmer, TypeScript blueprints. Nope, no changes there. Let's see if there's been a change in this one. This is the last one. After this, I'm just moving on, leaving that one as it is. We didn't get to 0 errors yet, but we can pretty much ignore these ones. I wonder if I can change the name of the stream here. I can. Let's put Ember.js in here. Ember.js. Nest.js, yeah. Nest.js. Oh, I was doing a build at the same time as the upgrade. It's always gonna suck a lot of CPU. Okay, so that updated the TypeScript packages. Okay, good. Let's see if that fixes it. Ember S. 2 p.m. 1 hour into the stream, and I'm just messing around with types. Corey Nunn would be rolling over in his grave if he was dead. He'd be rolling over in his grave if he wasn't alive. I like that they've added TypeScript to Ember. I wouldn't use Ember if it didn't have TypeScript, but the integration, because they started with JavaScript, is not that great. Bottom line. True story. Oh, now you're just being weird, man. What the heck? Nah, man. What is up with that? Why is that back? I'm not gonna fix that now. You've taken too much of my life already. Dude. Anyway, it builds. No, I don't want to open my calendar, force quit. I want to go here. Okay. Let's nuke all these things. Let's go back here. So, okay, it's going to reload, I think. Oh, it's still building. Oh no, build successful. Okay, window. I'll bring up this project, and this project npm run start dev. This is my API server written in Nest.js, which doesn't have problems with its TypeScript typings because it was written in TypeScript from the ground up. Starting compilation in watch mode. Now, I wonder what database this one connects to. This connects to the production database. Okay, it says it's connected to a Zeebe server, but which Zeebe server did it connect to? Where is that configured? Let's have a look. Doesn't tell me. Doesn't tell me which database it connected to either. No, this is a bad design, my friend. This is a bad design. I've got two different settings files in here. One of them is set for a development database, and the other one is set for a production database. Let's try this. I'll rename this setting here. File change detected. Let's see if it blows up. 0 errors. Watching for file changes. Starting. In that case, I theorize that it's connected to a local database. Let's see if I'm actually running a local database. Be great if it did. MySQL, yo. MySQL preference pane, let's try that. Okay, so there is a running instance locally. Okay, let's try it. Let's suck it and see. Reload the page. No error message. And a bunch of spells. But am I connected to the production database or the development database? I'm going to delete that file. get rid of the canary. Runs a health check, sure, whatever. Okay, let's just do this. Okay, so we have this editor. We can call up this new thing. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is just make it so that if I edit a spell, and I do that, I should be able to click on this and have it save. I'm going to do just a ghetto naive implementation to start with, and then we'll make it more complex. Okay, editor test. Oh, these are the tests. Don't worry about tests for now. So it's the editor component. Editor. Okay, save changes, right? Okay. Now, what's the state that I have access to in here? So this editor get value? No, as the editor value changes, yeah, this dot current code. This dot current code. Okay, so what? Okay, so you can't rename a spell. Yeah, okay. Hang on, let's have a look. So I can discard the changes and then I can choose to rename it. And then let's say I rename it to this and I say okay. And it's got rename. That shouldn't, no, you shouldn't have to do it twice. If I told it to rename it, it should rename it. So it should be a single method, not two. Okay, so if I'm gonna do a rename, click on the what button? Let's have a look at the component templates, routes, templates, component, editor. Now there's a modal here, and then you have this button that says OK, click modal OK. So click modal OK. Click modal OK. Here we go. Rename should save. Oh, someone's a genius. Okay. Now, if operation is rename, so here's how we do this. Instead of high level pseudocode. If operation is rename, oh man, you can't do this transactionally, so there's... I wonder if you can do a transaction. Actually, I should put this on the server rather than doing it from the client, because imagine if we delete the original and then it loses its connection. You just deleted the spell rather than renaming it. So what I'm going to need to do then is on my Nest server, spells controller, let's switch it to that one so you can see what I'm doing here. go. It's my Nest server. Oh, you got post spells. I'll create a new method on here called rename. Wham! Okay, so get your head in the game, get your head in the game. So this is a post, and it's going to post to an endpoint called rename. I'm going to put the JWT guard on it. It should be on that one too. Make this an async method. Rename spell. And then probably the easiest way to do this will be to not only have like the JWT guard and then something on here, but also to have a parameter on it. So rename, and then we'll put the original name on the URL. Wake up, dude. Shunt. Username. Like that? Or do I go with the snake case? Nah, let's do this. Camel case it. Camel case. Okay, so I got to get the parameter off the... Got to get the parameters. Copy. Here. Paste that in. So now I'm going to do const original name. Original name equals, well, I'll do it with a shorthand. So like this. Like that. Save it. Puts the semicolons, I ain't typing that. Okay. It's the original name of the parameter. And then I actually need to get the body. Copy. So the body of this post request is going to contain the name. And then I should write some kind of interface definition for it. Let's put it at the end of this file. It's not easy to interface rename spell request. It's not easy to share it between a different project, rename spell request. Pretty simple. It just has the name. This is actually a save spell request, and then you just post a save spell request to the rename. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. So I'll make this a save spell request because I'll reuse it for when you save the spell. And then it has some code. And those are the only two things that it has. It's not complicated. It's also a string. Okay. Const spell. I mean, the other way you could do it is it just takes the original name and the new name, and that's it. Get it off the body. And I just need to have a look at where I got stuff off the body before. What does that look like? Oof. Is it body.data or? Oh, let's have a look. Let's have a look. if I say here body and then do a dot, ah, dude, nothing. Dot? What, are you telling me it's like literally any? What's the type? Any. In that case, I'm saying that this should have a capital S. It's a type. Shave spell request. Copy this. Paste it in here. Okay, so now if I now say spell dot code and name. Okay, so I need to do two things. First of all, I've got to see if I can do a transaction. And then I need to delete the original spell. I should save the new spell. Even if I can't do a transaction, I just save the new spell and then delete the old one if it succeeds. Then the worst thing that can happen is that they end up with 2 copies of the spell, which is not so bad. Design for failure modes. Design for failure modes. What happens when it doesn't work? Okay. Now. This should actually be in the service because this is the controller. Copy, spell service. I'm getting the service. Okay, because I got the file repository here. Get the spells. Save the spell. Do I have a delete spell? Get spells. So async method called delete spell. We only need the spell name, really. Okay. This one here should be spell name and an auth0 profile. Rock and roll. Okay. I don't know, man. I'm gonna ghetto code this. File repository. Delete. Criteria. Let's have a look where I'm getting stuff out of it. Okay, so I should put a where in it. Let's see if that works. Copy. Criteria is a string. Find conditions. Okay. Get the username off the auth0 profile. How do I do that? Oh, it doesn't like this. Yep. Okay, we'll get there. So, const. I mean, I could do this. Okay, I've got to be careful because as it stands at the moment, it'll delete everything. Get rid of that. Where doesn't exist. I don't necessarily want to understand the whole thing right now. I just want to know specifically how do I... So it's nest. Let's have a look at the docs for an example of how you delete something using TypeORM documentation. Repository pattern, yeah, I got that set up. Testing, async config. Recipes, TypeORM. Repository pattern. Find all, yeah, but how do you delete something? Okay. TypeORM. Yeah. Quick start, step-by-step guide, create, add tables, yep, create, columns, create a connection, yep. Run the application, async await, entity manager, repositories loading from the database, updating in the database. Okay, so you find one and then you update it. Maybe, oh. Okay, in that case we should do this. Okay, we should do find one and then update it. Okay, so we should create a method in here called rename spell. Because rename, yeah, okay. Renaming is actually a case of just updating where you update the name. Duh. Rename the spell, yo. Okay, so we're gonna perform this. What? That's paste. So Command Z that. Copy. Paste. Got the username. And we got the spell name. So if I now do this dot file repository, find one. Yo! Find it by its ID. Okay. Find many options. Can I do this? Yes, I can. Okay. I wonder how intelligent this thing is. Let's have a look. Control space. Yes. Very good. Very good. In that case, name and new name. That makes it clear what's going on. Okay, so okay, the spell, we're going to find one spell. I'm going to have to await this because it's a database operation, so it's going to be asynchronous. Yes, sehr gut, sehr gut. Okay, good. Now, if we got nothing back, I don't know what this thing looks like when it comes back. So I'm going to say if there are no spells, or spells.length, I don't know what the thing shape of it will look like. Let's have a look. Yeah. I don't know how we'll handle this one yet, but one thing we can say about this is that we couldn't find the file. Couldn't find file, say file. Couldn't find the file, yo. Okay. Let's return. I guess we'll just return false. Operation didn't succeed, but we don't know why. Oh, we'll do it like this. Give it a message property. Let's do it like this. Make it a little bit more kind of intelligent. Couldn't find it to rename it. That's what we want. If there are no spells, or if the spell's length is 0, which is more likely what it will return, since it insists that it returns an array of files. Okay, otherwise what we do is we go const, and we'll take the spell will be the first one, because we're assuming that, I mean, another error condition is it returns more than one spell, in which case, yeah, okay. I'll also handle that. It should never happen. Famous last words, it should never happen. So in here we say if spells.length is greater than 1, don't need that. It's obvious what that does now. If a user sees this, then we have a problem. Couldn't unambiguously select cool. So, oh, this is pretty easy. Okay, the new name. Yep, good. And then just await the saving of the file. So this.file repository .save spell. Okay, and then once that happens, then we should return. Actually, this could fail at this point, so put in a try catch. This is a database error of some kind, probably. If that happens, we should return okay as false. And then the message would be just return the error message. What? Yeah, whatever. Put it in. Otherwise, the happy path. It worked. Okay. Okay, so we post to the rename spell endpoint. And so the rename spell endpoint needs to get the spells controller. So then in here, what we just need to do is return this dot spell service rename spell, and the rename spell takes so the original name, which comes from there, takes a new name, which comes from spell.name. That's all we need, actually. And we need North Zero profile, which we need to get from North Zero profile. So we're going to get from here. Okay, so I need to get the request as well. Shorthand syntax. Okay, so in that case, what we should do is in the client application, we post to that endpoint, and then we should refresh the model straight after, as soon as we get the response back. If the response was okay, then the model needs to be refreshed. Wonder what effect that will have on the... Let's find out. So, let's discard the changes. Switch to my other VS Code window for you. Check it out. Play app Ember. Okay. Now, how do we know if the operation is rename? Save rename is rename. Where's that? So, if this, not track, this. Just like that. It would have been so much better if I designed that server to integrate like really well coupled with Ember, because Ember has great coupling with an API server. But unfortunately, I built the API server before I built this, so it's going to be a lot of hand coding, which is a bit dumb. Find out where else I'm doing this Axios thing. Oh, this is a bad design. This component's directly. Anyway, whatever. It's a bad design, but we're just gonna get it done. I'm hashtag doing it wrong. No kidding. So it's to the rename spell point. Oh, you're killing me here. Okay, I do need to lift this out of here. I gotta lift it out of here. This is not good. Components. Helpers. I'm gonna put it in here. I'm gonna call it API. No, because this is in the routes. Because I need an authenticated what's the cause of that? Okay, put this in. Yeah. This is bad duplication of code. Okay, the other thing is that you don't have session in the component. You're going to only have it in the route. I need some kind of service that I can inject into the route. OMG, I'll refactor it later, man. For now, I gotta put it into the route. I'm in a component. Well, let's have a look at the editor route. Okay. So obviously have access to it here. Try, catch. Okay. Yep. Okay. So. Okay, I don't have a good grasp of Ember's structure. The component... You have a component, it renders, you have a controller, you have a route. A controller. So, the controller... Send an action to the controller. The controller modifies the model. And then the component renders the model. So this should go into the controller, editor controller. So it should go in here. This is the editor component. How does this editor get set in here? Inject a reference to the component in the controller. That's so I can set the contents of the editor from the controller. Here's the controller. Do I have a reference to the controller in the component? Oof. So we should cut this out of here. Go to the editor controller. Get rid of that. So in here, I'm going to put rename spell. Parameters in a minute. Paste this in. Okay, this does have the session, so that's good. So if I go to the editor route and grab those pieces out of there, editor, grab these two pieces out of here, put them into the controller. Now in the component, what I need to do is, can I get a reference to the controller in here? Okay, leave that one open for the time being. Let's go back here, and I want to look at Ember. Reference to controller and component. Oh. In the component. How to get access to the controller from the component, and then they say, you shouldn't do that, you're doing it wrong. Okay, using Ember views, yeah, you can try target object. Yeah, proper way to get completely isolated from surrounding context. Let's have a look at the Ember docs, because this is like a fundamental relationship between components and controllers. Like, how do you actually click a button in a component and have it perform an action? Let's have a look. Docs. That's right, you gotta wait for the drop down. Ember.js guides. Components. Oh, the object model. Triggering changes with actions. What about opposite direction? How does data flow back out of the component to the parent? In Ember, components use actions to communicate events and changes. Model view actions. So it's kind of like Elm, maybe? Elm architecture. Let's look at a simple example of how a component can use an action to communicate with its parent. Imagine we're building the application where users can have accounts. We need to build the UI for users to delete their account because we don't want users to accidentally delete their accounts. We build a button that requires the user to confirm in order to trigger some action. Once we create this button with confirmation component, we want to be able to reuse it all over our application. Okay. Implementing an action on a component handled outside the component, the parent component. Service. Okay, you got to create a service. Okay, so we need a service. Do I have any services already in here? Let's have a look. Services. Auth service. I need to create a spell service. I could use it to populate the model as well. And then I can consolidate coalesce all of my Axios stuff into that one service. That's the best way rather than spreading it out. Good. So, services. Services? Nothing in here about services. Oof. Okay. Oh, we're up to 314. I was on 313. Okay, so Ember service. Oh, it would be so much easier if I'd built these things to integrate properly. Ember guides. Services. 2.1. It's an application concerns. Which doesn't exist in the new ones. Okay. Applications, services. Underneath configuration. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. Services. Okay. Service is an Ember object, lists duration, made available different places, shared or persistent connections. Yep. Server sent. Yep. Server backed API calls. It may not fit Ember data. That's me, unfortunately. Services. Maybe. Could I use Ember data? Great options. REST, JSON API. Write their own code. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Combination. Ember data models. Ember data models. Models? Yep. Ember data. Adapter pattern. Out of the box by JSON API. See, if I'd done JSON API on the server. Okay, but what I'll do is I'll just ghetto rig this thing and then I'll come back and refactor it later if, you know, if I get the time. In the meantime, let's do it as a service. Because I want to get it done. service is an Ember object. Lives for the duration of the application. Yeah, define a service. So generate service. Okay, Ember generate service spells is what I'll run. Go to here. And then run Ember generate service spells. Yep. Services, yeah, it's gonna do that automatically. Service initialized. Accessing the service. Inject it. Okay, it's cool. So, it's gonna generate it in here. Come on! Dude. Why does my... I'm gonna figure out why my Stream Deck takes up so much CPU. Okay, I got my spell service in here. Right? Now, in the editor route, I have these two. So I'll copy these, put them into my new service. In here. So paste those in. And then... I won't worry about populating my model out of the service yet. I'm just going to do the rename spells. Rename spell. Okay, so we're going to have a rename spell method. Okay. Now, we just need two things. We need name and new name, right? Yep. Name and new name. I'll use them as named parameters because I can extend it if I need to later. And then I'll give it nope. So name, wake up, which is a string. And new name, which is also a string. Now, I started writing that code where? In the editor route? I didn't paste it in. Whatevs, I can do it like this. Copy. It's 2 hours because that was a 2-hour soundtrack. Okay, let's keep going. It's a bit longer. Copy this. Paste it in here. So make this an asynchronous method, so that I can await the response from the server. Okay, it's going to be a post request. Post. Rename, dude. Rename spells. Yep. Okay. Res. Okay, so the data object. So we put the name here. Yep. And then I think, let's have a look. Get rid of that one. And then we just put the name in here, and this name is the new name. new name. And then we'll just do like a ghetto alert. Boom. Now we inject the service into the component. Inject the service into the component? Is that how you do it? I think that's how you do it. Application architectures, dude. Services. Okay. Yep. Pass the registered name of the service. Okay, I see. And the name is derived from where? From the name of the file? Okay, well, in that case, we'll just go like this. Gets me every time, that thing. Spells. This music reminds me of Bali. I want to go back to Bali. Import inject this service. Why is service not showing up in here? Don't know. Can't resolve it. Why can't you resolve that? Refers to a value. Okay, well, where's the IntelliSense? Okay, save that. Load IntelliSense. Copy, where am I using this in my application? So at some point I got this to work. Oh, it's a helper. What? Oh. Oh, okay. Okay. It's a decorator. Not used anywhere. Okay, well, infer the type. Huh. Hopeless. Really? This is why dependency injection, it breaks the name and new name. It breaks typing. So the existing name, so this dot original name or something? Original name. And then the new name. So copy. Make this asynchronous. Const response equals await this thing. This could throw, so should. And then if we go into spells here, we're doing an alert. So cut that out of there. And then return the response. Responsibility of the consumer to deal with it. Yep, save that. And then go here and paste the alert in there. Let's do that. Will this work? A lot of places where things can go wrong in this. Database, API server, connection to the API server, connection between the component and the service. Suck it and see, man. Suck it and see. Cancel. What is this? Rename it. Let's put a 1 on the end and then say okay. What just happened? Okay, so I went into here. Some kind of problem there. Spells. Is this a thing? Is that a thing? Probably have to inject the session into it somehow. Let's have a look at my auth service. Like that. Okay, copy this. Paste it here. Let's try this. Reloads. Pops that thing up, yeah. Underscore A. Rename. A1. Okay. Request failed with 404. That's why, because it's on a sub route. I believe it's called spells. Fingers on the keyboard, dude. Or is it spell? Spells. Reload the page. Cancel. Select the spell. Rename. 1. Okay. 404 still. Spells. Rename spells. That's why. And this time it just works. Rebuilding, reloading. Got to figure out where that is and turn that off. Reload the editor. Like this. Rename. 1. Okay. 404 still. Okay, let's have a look at the network requests. Network. .404 not found. Spells, rename spell. Wow. 2 errors that I can see there. Yeah. Like that. And this time it just works like magic. Oh, this is so easy. Let's move this up so I don't keep hitting it. Down. Cancel that. Choose this one. Rename it. Okay. Okay, let's refresh the page. Cancel. Didn't rename it. So, where I'm alerting the thing, I'll console log it. Is the easiest way. Console.log. Yes. Save that. Cancel. Load the editor. Takes too long. Rename. Figure out why it takes so long. How to shorten it. False. Couldn't find it. Okay, no problem. Alright, okay, we know where the problem is. Let's switch to the server. Okay, so rename. Yep. So what we should do in here, go to the definition of this one. Let's do some console log in here. Okay, and then should do this. Bam. Okay, save that. I put this as a macro in Visual Studio Code, so when I want to put console log debugs, I can find them later. So I can just go like this. Spells. Okay, good. Okay, I don't need to do anything with this except rename. Yes, so it's actually working. Well, that's weird. Okay. Fix that later. Oh. That's weird. Reload. Okay, select that, rename. Okay, true. So, send back a message here that gives me a little bit more information about it. About what just happened. Renamed to okay. Rename. Okay. Rename A1 to A. Didn't update the model, that's why. Yeah, we need to refresh the model then. Oh. Okay. Let's get rid of the set element thing. Editor 142. Editor component. What is all this junk? I'm looking at the wrong close. Okay, good. Let's change to the other VS Code window. Play app Ember. Okay. Yeah, okay, so once we do this, we should then refresh the model. Let's find out how we do that. Ember refresh model. Not with Ember data. Maybe I should switch to Ember data. Ember data. Model hook fires. Okay. Yep, it's cool. Well, I lifted that save operation up into the API server, but maybe Ember data would do it from the client side. In which case it would probably refresh the model automatically. Then I don't have to do all this manual wiring. Lift the application concern up into Ember data. Let's do it. And then I just changed my backend API. Yes, exactly. Many developers are familiar with using Ajax to fetch raw JSON data for an endpoint, which may appear easy at first. Over time, however, complexity leaks out into your application code, making it hard to maintain. I mean, this is not a unique problem, you know? Get some data from the server, render it in a view, and then let the user mutate that data and then persist it back to the server. I mean, why am I writing that? Yeah, managing models as your application grows becomes both simpler and easier. Yeah, okay, it's worth investing in this because otherwise it's going to be a dog's breakfast. JSON API. Yeah, you hand-rolled an API server. It does not adhere to any JSON specification. OMG, am I going to have to go back and rewrite the server to be JSON API compatible? You know, it's going to be a little bit slower in the beginning to do that, but in the long run, it's going to be more maintainable. It's just easier. And then I can seal this as a black box. I don't have to touch it again. But then when I look at the database that's backing it, the database is not designed. So I might have to go back and rebuild the data, build it from the database through to the API server through to the front end. Well, maybe I can abstract it. If it's JSON API from the server to the client won't need to be updated. And then I can fudge it in an intermediate layer on the server and then push it back to the database because there's like data migration if I do that. So I'll fudge it in the server to begin with. You might be tempted to make the component responsible for fetching the data and storing it. Yes. Yeah. Yep. The list of items gets out of sync with the counter in a toolbar, yeah. Tight coupling between the UI and the network code, yes, it sucks. Solid principles of good design tell us objects should have a single responsibility. It's the very first one. Open close, Liskov substitution. I, interface rather than implementation. D, solid. Single responsibility principle. Open closed. Open for extension, closed for modification. Liskov substitution principle. What does I stand for? D. Decoupling? No, don't know. Let me do a quick refresher on that. solid. Dependency inversion. Oh man, it should give me the answer right here. I don't want to have to go somewhere to look at it. Interface segregation principle. Yeah. Dependency inversion. Yeah, it's a bad design what I have right now. A bad design. Let's go back here. Single store, I love it. Read through cache for your app's models, yeah, yeah. Store service in every route and controller, love it. Okay, it's the latest version. A record instance of a model. Yeah, okay, I have to redesign the server. Otherwise this thing's gonna turn into a monster of spaghetti code, and what will happen is that in the future when I want to make some kind of change and I come back to it, it'll break in unexpected ways because it's not clear how it actually works. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to change the server to be a JSON API server. Okay, not a problem, I can do it. I'm just gonna crush it. I won't do it on the stream though. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna take a break for a little while and I'm gonna come back to this and I'm gonna rewrite that server and then I'm gonna use Ember Data. It's a thing. It's a thing.